night we pray, kneeling low, hear what we say. Freedom calls in every tone. Faith is built on hearts of stone. Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp, they cut right through. Real talk for the soul's appeal. Prayers rise up the wounds they heal. Lift our voices to the sky, a righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down, for the Father wears the crown. Each step brings another fight. Breaking chains, we're seeking light. Voice of power won't be tamed. With His love, we're never ashamed. Lift our voices to the sky, a righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down, for the Father wears the crown. From the ashes we shall rise. Hope is found deep in our eyes. Every word a battle cry. With the Father none deny.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. I am your host, Wise. Hope all is well with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the weekend. Happy Monday. Happy first week of June, first business day in the month of June. It is Men's Mental Health Month. So shout out to all the brothers out there, all the fathers, the grandfathers, the sons, the young men, the old men. Shout out to you guys, man. It is Men's Mental Health Month. And yeah, Ed, it's June already. It's crazy. We are in the last month of quarter two. This month is flying by. I'm sorry, not the month is flying by. I mean, granted fact, it is June 2nd already, but the year's flying by. And, we're already pretty much, we're in the latter half of quarter two. And, it's just crazy. It is just crazy how fast this year is really, really flying by. We'll be having midterm discussions for real before you know it. Shout out to everybody that pulled up this morning. Shout out to all the ARP family members. Thank you guys for supporting me and supporting the channel. Shout out to everybody that supports the channel via Buy Me a Coffee. I really, really appreciate you guys. You guys do not understand how much it means to have you guys support this channel financially. When you're on this side of things, when you're on this side of things on YouTube and basically, on the internet, you may or may not get the push, like some of these other channels out there. But I do appreciate you guys supporting me in that way. Shout out to Big Job Ford, first person in the chat this morning. He says, good morning, Wise and ARP family. Shout out to you, brother. What's going on up there in Wisconsin? What up, PK Krillin? How's it going this morning? Shout out to my guy Hunter. He said he wanted to just pop in before he started his work day. He wanted to say good morning and hope you all have a wonderful day. Shout out to Hunter. I know he started a new gig. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's faithful in the chat. But he did start a new gig, so he catches the replays. I see him in the comment section on the replays. But shout out to him, man. I hope all is well. Hope all is going well on that new gig over there. Shout out to Nanny's Take on the World. She said she'll be back after Van's live stream. You know what I'm saying? I'm competing with Van now over at LFR Family. What's going on, Hobo Ride Prospecting? What up, Kevin Caldwell? Good morning to you. Scott Jung, appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Lori Otteson? How's it going this morning? What's up, Playboy Billy? Hope you enjoyed the weekend, brother. Hope all is well with you. What up, JJ O'Hara? How's it going this morning? We got Donald Lovejoy in the building. Shout out to you. Hey, he says, good morning and good morning, Wise and ARP family from Colorado. I hope you are a long ways away from Boulder. We're going to talk about that briefly. We're not going to go all the way into it, but we're going to talk about that situation briefly. We're seeing entirely too many of these radical Islamists out there. I know out this way, out in DC, a couple weeks ago, you had 2 Jewish students that were killed. About 2 weeks ago at this point, minding their own business, and they were unfortunately killed by someone that flew in from Chicago, some Hamas supporter. It's just so unfortunate. Now you got this situation. I believe there were 8 people killed. I believe this happened yesterday or over the weekend. For sure. You had 8 people killed by this dude with a makeshift flamethrower. Goodness gracious. We're going to talk about that briefly later today. What's going on, Cool Ramon? How's it going today? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Shout out to, who else we got up in here? Buddha, Brian M. We got Jan Forsyth. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. She don't like the faces on the thumbnail. I understand. Timu Barack Obama and Dana Bash. What up, Ed Meyer? How's it going this morning, brother? Hope all is well. What's up, Steve Edmister? Buffalo in the house. Yeah, enjoying his mushroom coffee. Hey, I'm doing the same. I wish I could get a sponsorship deal from 10 Mushroom Coffee over at Max Fit. I haven't been able to get a hold of anybody over there, but I drink this 10 Mushroom Coffee on a day-to-day basis. It's delicious. It's been better for my stomach than regular coffee. I've talked to you guys about it, and I hadn't heard anybody from over there, any brand deals or sponsorships. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to hear from them because I only really like to support products that I actually use. If I wouldn't use it or purchase it, it's not really, in my wheelhouse to toss out there like that. That's just me. As I pause to drink my 10 Mushroom Coffee. Little free pub for them. It is good, though. I really like it. What's going on, Larry Montgomery? How's it going this morning? Hope all is well. Shout out to the Blues. We got Zephyr K9 in the building. Shout out to B, Brett Montgomery, T.A. Caskey. Who else we got? Coaster. Shout out to him as well. All the Blues that keep things peaceful in the chat. Shout out to Soul Driver. What's going on with you, brother? Hope all is well. What's up, God Bless America 856? Appreciate you pulling up. Toy Mafia. What up, Quincy James? How's it going this morning, brother? Hope all is well out there in Texas. We're going to get the show started pretty quickly. And we're going to try our best to keep these shows compact. We're going to be right there in that hour to an hour and a half sweet spot, unless it's a panel interview. And I understand that, when I do the call-ins, those are probably going to go a little longer. But for the most part, my plan is to try to keep things tight. And I want to hear from you guys in your thoughts. I mean, I know we talk a lot of things that's political, but this is a righteous perspective, right? And I have a take and a perspective on a plethora of topics. So yeah, we'll continue to discuss what's going on, in the news cycle from a political standpoint, but I also want to talk about and get into some social issues as well, things that are going on out there. I know, on the channel we've talked about, the Section 8, and we've talked about some of these other things, out there. Yesterday we dropped a video about the challenge with young boys or young men. They called them stay-at-home sons, and that whole attack on on masculinity, not toxic masculinity, but masculinity, and the issues that are plaguing America when it comes to our men, specifically our young men, and our boys. I thought it was a topic that was worth discussing, but I want to continue to broaden our horizons, a little bit in the conversations that we have, on this channel, as we move forward. Not to say that we want to get away from what's going on politically and what's going on in the news cycle, but I mean, there's a lot going on here, and we want to look at these things, from a biblical perspective. We want to look at a lot of the things that are going on out there, that's going on out there in the world, especially here in our country, and I think it's worth discussing. Shout out to Wendy. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. We got a hater Evan. Is it YT? Or hater Evan White. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but appreciate you pulling up. What up, Crystal? How's it going this morning? Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Appreciate you pulling up on Friday. Actually, we got you Thursday and Friday. That was awesome. Appreciate you pulling up for me. Thank you very much. Did an outstanding job. Outstanding job. I thought so. Hope you guys enjoyed that panel show on Friday. I thought it was pretty good. Shout out to Robert Dalton. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. We got Baby Lungs in the building, Burnsville, Minnesota. What up, Carol Reyes? How's it going this morning, sister? It's been a little minute since I've seen you in the chat, but appreciate you pulling up. Chi-Town in the building. Hope all is well. Who else we got up in here? We got Grace. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Christy? How's it going this morning? Shelby Dodd out of Alabama. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. All right, we got Fishbowl PSAs. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. All right, who else we got up in here? We got Cicely Alonzo. Appreciate you pulling up. South Florida in the building. Mandy Ratliff. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. Grace says 4 more months until snow. Can we let's not talk about that. We hadn't even gotten into the meat and potatoes of summer yet. We hadn't even gotten to the warm weather. I went outside this morning. We go to the gym, early this morning. It was 50 degrees outside. Here it is June and it's still 50 degrees outside. What's up, Corrine Easley? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Scott Free, appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. What up, Brett Montgomery? How's it going? What up, Mike C? How's it going this morning, brother? Hope all is well with you. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. What up, David, out of Oklahoma? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Regina Alongi out of New York. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. Lisa Valentine, appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, B? What up, B? I thought you'd do what Nanny does. You over there, or are you modding too? You modding over at LFR and over here? Oh, man. All right, let's get the show started. If you haven't done so already, man, please make sure you hit that like button for me. We have 183 people in the building this morning already. I appreciate you guys pulling up. What up, True Texan? Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. As always, make sure you hit that like button for me. That's the only cost of the live stream. Hit that like button for me. Hey, if you want to be a part of the show, you got a question or you want to stop the show with a comment or something along those lines, super chats will do that. They will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Anybody that joins the ARP family or gifts an ARP family membership, they will stop the show and be acknowledged as quickly as possible. If you have any questions or anything along those lines, feel free to drop a super chat. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. If you just got a statement, something that you want to add in, I'd love to, I'll stop the show and add that in. Definitely appreciate the support. What up, AK Bauer? Appreciate you pulling up. Pocono Mountains, Northeast Pennsylvania. I like the Poconos, man. I used to go out there during the summer months. My aunt and my uncle back in the day used to work at one of the resorts out there back in the day. This was a long time ago. What up, Wayne? Wayne Newman out of New Jersey. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. What up, Bard Blake? How's it going? Marie Noose. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. We got Elijah Burnett, Karina Diaz. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. Thank you very much, Karina. I appreciate you saying that. She says, good morning, and I really like your show. I want to throw her out there. I want to show. There we go. There we go. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, Karina. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. We're doing our best. What up, Aaron? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. And he says, peace-wise, how was that Malcolm tribute? Did you like it? I hadn't had a chance to listen to it yet. I did listen to the first one, On Code. I hadn't had a chance to listen to the second one, but I believe you just sent it to me either yesterday or this morning, so I hadn't had a chance to check it out. But I will check it out when I go on my little daily walk later today. I'll get a chance to check it out and listen to it. I'm not on Spotify, so I like to listen to things. I don't know about you guys, but I listen to most content at 1.75 That's just how my brain works. I can listen to it fast. I can compute it. I can maintain. I can understand it. I can comprehend it. I like to listen to my content really fast. So I'm at 2.0. I've heard of people that listen to things as fast as like 4.5 speed. That's crazy. I haven't gotten that far, but I do on average listen to things right at about between 1.75, depending on what it is, between about 1.75x and 2. I could probably go upwards about 2.10, x. But for whatever reason, Spotify will not allow me to do that, which is crazy. But that's pretty much, how I listen to content. Even when I watch myself, I always listen to it. I watch it at, rapid rates, like that. Shout out to Philip Underwood out of Mississippi and Donald Lovejoy. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Says he's about an hour north of Boulder. Okay, understood. All right, so let's get the show started. Like I said, if you haven't done so already, man, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Appreciate everybody pulling up this morning. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. And shout out to Jeffrey Blanchek. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. Joining the ARP family. Thank you very much, man, for supporting the channel. Definitely appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. I think I might have missed one too. And shout out to Christy, one of Chi-Town's finest, with the gifting 10 ARP family memberships. Thank you very much, Christy. I really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel on a day-to-day basis. Crystal says she listens to things between 1.25 and 2.5. Okay, so I'm not weird. I'm not the only one that's out here listening to content at rapid rates. I listen to, even when I'm listening to audiobooks and things of that nature, I'm listening to audiobooks at 1.75 to 2.0. And I don't have any problems, retaining the information or comprehending what's going on. It's just how I listen to it. So an 8-hour book, I typically can get through it in about half that time, with no problem. And if you haven't thought about it, you should think about it, man. Try it out. It may sound a little weird because you got to train your brain and you got to train yourself to listen and to comprehend at that speed, but it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. If I can do it at my advanced age. That sounds crazy. I was talking to my kids today, or not today, on Saturday, and I was talking to them, and I was telling them about something that was happening, when I was in the military, and I was like, man, that was 25 years ago, and they both looking at me like 25 years ago. I wouldn't even thought of, Dad. My oldest son was like, man, that was like a year or so before I was born. Like, I'm like, y'all trying to make me feel old, huh? Like, they're trying to make me feel old. Crazy. So crazy. But let's get the show started, man. I'm filibustered enough. Oh, man. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull this up.
And why are they angry? Because the party isn't being ornery enough in Washington and liberal enough? I mean, that's just it, right? The lesson that the base has learned from the last election is we're just not far left enough. And until you shed your allegiance to illegal aliens, boys and girls sports, and higher taxes, the American people do not want this. And it doesn't matter who you nominate, because if the base is going to push the nominee of the Democratic Party in those 3 directions, and I have no reason to believe that they won't do that in the 2028 primary, you're going to have a devil of a time convincing people that you can actually act normal during a campaign. Yeah. And why are they angry?
All righty. So, and before I get started, I want to ask, how many of you guys, when you're in your 20s, when you meet somebody and they tell you, hey, I'm 45, I'm 48, how many of y'all be like, golly, that's old? You're like, man, that's old. And now, you're at that age, maybe you're a little older, some of you guys are a little younger, and you're like, man, I feel great, man. I'm like, man, I'm looking good. I look good for my age. Man, what are you talking about? But Dion, you're absolutely right. And what's going on with your sister? Hope all is well. She said 25 years is a quarter of a century. You're absolutely right. And 25 years ago, I mean, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago that I was in the military and I was out here traveling around and I had the baby face with no facial hair and none of this stuff. Um, it just feels like I blinked and it was like, hey, I was on a ship on deployment and hanging out and partying and also dealing with some other foolishness. You know what we deal with. And it's just crazy. So when I throw it out there and I'm talking these things, and then it kind of hit me. It was like, man, that was 25 years ago. 25 years ago, that's a long time. It's a long time, but in all actuality, it's really not that long of a time when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, right? Ed's like, hold my beer. I got kids your age. Oh my goodness. But it is a blessing. I will say this, with everything that has gone on over probably the past 5 years or so, man, it is a blessing, to see 40s. It is a blessing. It really is. It is a blessing. It really is, and I don't take it for granted at all. Mike C says, I never make references of back in the day with my kids. Yeah, because they'll make you feel old real fast. I don't even know if they do it intentionally. It was like when I said it, the looks that I received, from my son, my youngest son, the looks on his face was like 25 years ago. I mean, he's only 18. He'll be 19 this month, but he's looking like 25 years, like, oh my gosh, that's like forever. But I guess when you hadn't even been on this planet 25 years, I guess it does feel like, a long time. It does. I mean, it's so funny. But today I want to dive, we got to talk about this, man. We're going to dive head first into the implosion of the Democrat Party. We got to do it. We have 282 people up in here, man. We got to have over 200 likes. We got to. Blues, y'all make sure y'all keep up on that. Make sure that we have, over 200 likes, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Crystal says, I did that wise note. I'm 44. Feel like I'm 20. Feel like 20 was just yesterday. Yeah, it does. It really does. Now, when I go out there and try to do some things like play basketball or something like that, I get reminded real quick. Like, hey, bro, you're not that dude that could hoop all day long, every day. Nowadays, I wouldn't play ball, man. I was out of commission for like a week, and I was like, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. I'm done. But let's dive into, this implosion of the Democrat Party. We got to talk about it. I mean, it's not a stumble. It's not a misstep. I mean, we're talking a 5-alarm political meltdown that is happening, and we're getting to watch it. We're getting a chance to watch it, in real time. This is the party that once claimed to be for the people. They have now officially lost the people. And let's start with the receipts real fast. According to a new CNN poll, only 21% of Americans say that they are satisfied with the Democrat Party, or that they believe in what the Democrat Party represents, or that they believe that the Democrat Party represents their values. That's not just low. That is historically embarrassing. And even worse, 73% of independents, they say that the party is completely out of touch. And when it comes to the economy, only 28% of Americans trust the Democrats to handle it, in comparison to 54% who could say that the Republicans are far better equipped. The numbers don't lie, man. The numbers don't lie. And it's not just the polls. It's not just the polls. Biden's approval rating, among Black voters, Democrat approval ratings among Black voters is down, 17 plus or a little over 17% or points dating back to 2020. Latino support has cratered, working class voters gone. And now here's the punchline. When CNN is confronted, or CNN confronts, which is surprising that they're actually even doing it, when they're actually confronting Democrat leaders, with their own poll, it was like watching someone try to plug a dam with a paper towel. I mean, we're talking cliches, deflections, zero accountability, no plan, no direction, no answers, no solutions, just critiques, just vibes, and victimhood is what you get out of these people. This isn't just backlash. I mean, it's the price of arrogance. It's the price of censorship, gaslighting. It's the price of policies that help everyone except the American people. We got to get into it, man. If y'all haven't done so already, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. But we got to talk about this, man. We definitely got to talk about it.
Sort of see the parties. Which party is better described as the party with strong leaders? Look at this.
Wow.
16% of Americans say Democrats, 40% say that of the Republican Party. Now, overall, no party's doing great. Lots of Americans say neither of these qualities apply to either party. But look at how much worse off the Democrats are. A party that gets things done. Only 19% of Americans say that about the Democrats. 36% say it about the Republicans. In fact, the only place that the Democrats are numerically ahead, party of the middle class, this is basically a tie, though.
Yeah.
34% say that of Democrats, 32% say that of Republicans. But this, I think, is the most fascinating. How do partisans talk about their own party? Right? So among Democrats and Democratic leaners, 32% say Democrats are the party with strong leaders. I mean, of their own kind, right? 82% of Republican leaders say that about the GOP. Only 41% of Democrats say they're the party that gets things done of their own kind. And I will just say, 51%, Manu, a majority of Democratic and Democratic leaners say neither party gets the party that gets things done attribute. Imagine that's the project that Democrats are working on.
Yeah, and beyond the issues here, there's some structural problems with the Democrats as well.
There are. And again, this is where we ended up on election night in 2024. This is by county.
And shout out to Jason Adams with the $3 super sticker. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, it's really crazy because, I mean, these people are, spending, $20 million to do a study on how to speak to young men. I mean, they've literally spent years demonizing young men, putting women on pedestals, calling young men, toxic, or, last year it was, if you didn't support Kamala Harris, you were, misogynist, you were a bigot, you were racist, because you just chose not to support, a woman who we didn't know what her policies were. We didn't know where she stood. She flip-flopped on everything. We didn't understand it. But let's call it what it is, man. Excuse me. Let's call it what it is. The Democrat Party is in a free fall. I think everybody knows this by now. There's a few people out there that are delusional, but I think everybody knows that this party, they are in a full-fledged free fall. And no amount of spin or identity pandering is going to fix it. And the thing is that they're not rebranding. They're not. They're unraveling, but they're not rebranding. They're not even trying to. And recent polling shows that only 21% of Americans believe Democrats share their values. And among independents, that number drops into the teens. It's even worse. Just 28% of voters trust Democrats on the economy. And honestly, I don't understand who those 28% are, because they had to have been living in America over the past 4 years. They had to. When gas went up, when the price of eggs went up, groceries went up, when wages went up, but the cost of everything else went up with it. So they gaslight you and told you, like, hey, man, y'all making more money than you've ever made before in your life. But you're also paying more money than you've ever paid before in your life. I mean, it's crazy. They are the party of gaslighters, man. They are the party of liars. That's who they do. That's who they are. That's what they do. And Mike C., you're absolutely right. I want to highlight this right here. It says the Democrat Party spent 30 years sending men to prison with criminal justice policies. Now they tell men to shut up and get to the back of the line. Yeah. I mean, you literally have a situation to where, like a college campus, college campuses are not safe places for men anymore. I had seen something the other day. I think they were saying something like 1 in 5 people on a college campus right now is a young man. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking college campuses are like some of the most feminized places in the country. Why would you want to sign up for that? And if you are a parent and you have children, like, why would you want to send your kids, into that environment? Now, what we do know is that Republicans currently hold a commanding lead with 54% when it comes to approval, when it comes to the economy, according to CNN's own data. I would assume that number is probably higher because what we do know about CNN, they're probably not polling the proper people, and they're probably, doing what they can to kind of skew the data. The reality is, I don't know if the Democrats have a messaging problem. In all actuality, in my opinion, I believe they have a credibility issue, or something that would be called a total credibility collapse. And here's the kicker. Their entire base knows it. Their entire base knows it. I would assume that maybe 80% of the base knows it, but they get on board, with everything that they get on, because you don't really have a choice but to. And here's the kicker, man. Black support for the Democrats have dropped significantly since 2020. Latino voters as well. They're fleeing like crazy. Working class voters, they're fleeing the party right now. Their policies don't resonate anymore. And their leaders, people like Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Jasmine Crockett, they're all out of touch. Think about this, man. AOC and Bernie Sanders literally just did a fight the oligarchy rallies where they were flying to and fro on private jets. These are the same people that's talking, about trying to be green and all this other kind of stuff. And I understand, I get it. The easiest way, the most practical way for you to get where you need to get to is to take a private jet. But these are also the same people saying that we got to fight the oligarchy. Last time I checked, most of us, we can't afford private jets. I mean, $15,000 an hour? We can't afford that. We can't. So the same people that are out here, pumping the fist, fight the oligarchy, and we got to, we need to get the billionaires to pay more of their money, when what we do know is that the upper echelon, the top, 25% of earners in the country pays majority of the taxes. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? The last time I checked, I don't know any poor people that actually employ people. I don't know about that either. You know what I'm saying? But they want to tell you that it's the rich. It's the rich's fault that you don't have anything. These people are completely out of touch, and they're clinging to these stale talking points while the party basically implodes and burns from within. I mean, the Democrats right now, they aren't failing because they've gone too far left. They're failing because they're being led by the far left. They have gone too far left, but they're not even trying to move back towards the center. They're going even further left. The fringe is driving the agenda right now. And the average voter, they're basically just along for the daggone wreck. And yet somehow the media still clutches its pearls, about Republican extremism, as if we didn't just live through the most reckless, inflationary, wide open border administration in modern U.S. history. Like we just hadn't seen over the past, 2-3 months, Tesla dealerships burning, Tesla owners having their cars vandalized. You got Hamas extremism happening on college campuses and all across this country. There were two young Jewish people that were just killed recently here in the DMV area about 2 weeks ago. You got this guy out here out in Boulder, Colorado, with a makeshift flamethrower. He killed 8 people. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I would almost assume that you're not going to really get anybody on that side of things to disavow these people. You're not. I mean, think about this, man. Mayor Bowser in DC was supposed to attend an event around an event that was discussing the two young people, the two young Jewish people that were killed, inner city. She was supposed to attend an event, with the Jews to speak to, what DC plans to do to help keep people safe and things of that nature. She didn't show up. She didn't pull up. You know what I'm saying? And my assumption is the reason why she didn't pull up is because it would ruin, it would go against what they would consider their base. Shout out to Crystal from Beyond Labels. She says, thank you for the $5 super chat, sister. She said, what's done in the dark will come to light. Exposure. Dems are feeling that right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of these people, man, these politicians, man, they are so hell-bent on supporting the fringe of the party that they could care less about the masses. And they for daggone sure don't care anything about the independent folks. And they're not even trying to do anything to potentially sway some people on the right that would consider themselves conservatives. They're not even doing anything to sway those people. Think about this, man. Biden spent over $6.7 trillion in one term. One term. $6.7 trillion spent in one administration. One term. We're seeing a level of government overreach and economic chaos that would be unthinkable a decade ago. I mean, people are actually debating topics that would be unthinkable to even discuss a decade and for daggone sure 2 decades ago. It would be unfathomable to discuss a young man competing against young women in sports. It would be like no one would even listen to you. No one would like, what are we talking about? We're not debating this. This isn't going to happen. That would be a decade, maybe 2 decades ago. But here we are today, and it's happening, and you have people on the left pushing for this. And the reality is that you have voters out there are rejecting the chaos. They're rejecting the censorship. They're rejecting the performative politics, and they're hungry for competence. They're hungry, honestly, for just common sense policies. Just common sense. I don't think that a lot of the executive orders were just around social issues and things of that nature that President Trump has implemented. I don't think he's reinventing the wheel. Most of the policies, they're just common sense policies that most of us think you shouldn't even have to even put an executive order in there. I mean, there was the party is so radical that out in Seattle, at a public park, they have a Christian concert. Antifa shows up. 20 plus of those people get arrested for attacking Christians who are minding their own business, at a daggone Christian concert. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 28 people, from Antifa got arrested. The mayor out there comes out and says, this event probably shouldn't have happened at that park. Now, mind you, this is a public park. If you go and get the proper permits, you should be able to, host whatever event you want to host at that particular park. I mean, this is crazy. That's, what's going on out here. That's why the GOP is leading on every major issue. They're leading on inflation. They're leading on immigration. They're leading in national security. They're leading in just common sense. The GOP, they should be leading in education as well, but so many people are still brainwashed and misinformed about what's really going on in public schools. You know what I'm saying? That, they to an extent, maybe the left has somewhat of a stronghold on what's going on there, but that shouldn't even be the case. So while Democrats, continue to play identity bingo and cry about misinformation, voters are tuning them out in droves. And CNN confronts their top brass with poll after poll showing cratering support, and they've got nothing. No answers, no vision. It's just more noise. We got to check out this clip here. We got to take a look at this clip. We got to take a look at how the Democrat leadership responded when CNN finally held up a mirror. We got to check out this clip with Dana Bash and what's his name? Hakeem Jeffries, Timu Barack Obama. You guys got to see it for yourself. Let's get into it.
Ask you about something that happened in your home state of New York. In the past couple of days, Congressman Jerry Nadler said that DHS agents entered his congressional office on Wednesday without a warrant and handcuffed a member of his staff. This, of course, comes after the Trump Justice Department charged Democratic Congresswoman LaMonica MacIver with obstructing ICE agents after an altercation at a facility in Newark, New Jersey. Now, I know you previously warned that the administration charging members of Congress was a, quote, red line. What are you doing now that the red line you talked about has apparently been crossed?
Well, let me make clear that the House is a separate and co-equal branch of government, the Congress. We don't work for Donald Trump. We don't work for the administration. We don't work for Elon Musk. We work for the American people. And we have a responsibility to serve as a check and balance on an out-of-control executive branch. That's the constitutional blueprint that was given to us by the framers of the United States democracy that we have inherited over the last few centuries. And so we're going to continue to undertake our congressional responsibility, notwithstanding efforts by the Trump administration to try to intimidate Democrats. It's unfortunate that our Republican colleagues continue to be nothing more than rubber stamps for Trump's reckless and extreme agenda. And the American people, I think, will ultimately reject that next year when we will take back control of the House of Representatives. In the meantime, in terms of how we will respond to what Trump and the administration has endeavored to do, we will make that decision in a time, place, and manner of our choosing, but the response will be continuous and it will meet the moment that is required.
What exactly does that mean? Have you not decided how to respond?
We've publicly responded in a variety of different ways. We haven't let our foot off the gas pedal in terms of additional things that may take place with respect to our congressional oversight authority and capacity. We will respond in a time, place, and manner of our choosing if this continues to happen.
You believe?
Hey, this is the same guy that had a lot of tough talk, man. There was a lot of heat, coming off that seat a couple weeks ago, right? A few weeks back, this dude, he was talking real tough, man, real tough. But the reality of it is, what we do know is, and shout out to my guy Van, man, this guy's full of sugar honey iced tea. He is. Timu Barack Obama, like so many others on the Democrat Party out there, they have no stance, no backbone, no response. No response. Uh-oh. My dog's starting to act up. But this guy's a complete clown, man. He is. I don't know if you guys recall this, but I want to make sure I bring it back to you guys' attention.
Questions?
Mr. Leader, good afternoon. What would your statement the other day after there was this incident in Newark, you said they better not touch our members.
Correct.
What happens if they were to go and arrest these members, or if they would try to sanction them here in the House of Representatives?
They'll find out.
What would you do, though?
They'll find out.
What recourse? But doesn't that broach a...
They'll find out.
Doesn't that go across...
That's a red line.
What's the red line, though? I know we have this...
It's a red line. It's very clear. First of all, I think that the so-called Homeland Security spokesperson is a joke. It's a joke. They know better than to go down that road, and it's been made loudly and abundantly clear to the Trump administration. We're not going to be intimidated by their tactics to try to force principled opposition from not standing up to their extremism. It hasn't happened during the entirety of this failed term. It didn't happen when Donald Trump temporarily was sitting high in the immediate aftermath of the election. Do you think it's going to happen now when he's the most unpopular president in American history after his first 100 days? Give me a break. No one's intimidated by this dude. No one. And so there are clear lines that they just dare not cross.
Y'all heard that. It's a red line. Oh man. Somebody said it. Yeah, here it goes. Catherine Brandy. She said, "We are not a democracy, but a constitutional republic." Absolutely. And I am glad that we are. Because if we were a true democracy, the entire country would basically be governed by California and New York City, essentially. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much who we'd be governed by. We'd be governed by the people in the Northeast and the people on the West Coast, unfortunately. And this country would be a mess. Matter of fact, we would be Europe. We would be what's going on in the UK right now. So I'm glad that this is a republic, a constitutional republic, and not a democracy, because it saves us from the wicked people, the what they call them, the champagne liberals, those that live, in the Northeast and those out on the West Coast. It saves us from them. And it gives regular people, common sense folks, the ability to have a say and to keep the people, these far left, whacked out progressives from ruining and just taking over the entire country with their foolishness. That's the truth. That is a fact. For sure. But let's talk about the Great Value Obama. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Great Value, but that's the Walmart brand. Great Value Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, out here flexing on TV like he's in a political Fast and Furious movie. I mean, this man stood up, looked dead into the camera like Liam Neeson in Taken, and said, "It's a red line." It's a red line. I mean, he came across like he was real tough, like he was really about that life. They'll find out. They'll find out. If they touch one of our members. I mean, bruh, you are not in a Jason Bourne flick right now. Calm down before somebody asks you to actually do something. And would you know it? The Trump team said, "You know what? Hold my beer. It's a red line. Watch us cross it. Watch us cross it." Shout out to Jason Adams with the $5 super sticker. Appreciate you supporting the channel. They're like, hey, do y'all remember back in the day? I don't know, some of you guys, y'all may not grew up like this, but back in the day, there was a time when people would put like something on your shoulder and be like, I bet you won't knock this pencil off his shoulder. That would get a fight started back in the day. This was back when I was in like elementary school or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? That would get a fight started. Or somebody standing in the middle like, hey, punch me. And then they'll turn around and punch the other guy like, hey, that wasn't from me. That was actually from him. to get the fight started. This is crazy. This is stupid things that we used to do as kids. Just stupid. But, this dude out here acting real tough. And they're like, hey, okay. Watch this. Watch what we do. Oh, red line. We about to not only step over with one foot, we about to step over with two. They went and locked up, what's her name? LaMonica McIver, whatever her name is, for assault and ICE officers at a detention center. And what'd you see from the left? Cue the tumbleweeds, crickets. That man went from they'll find out to let me circle back on that real quick. I mean, it sounded like GPT on dial-up. I mean, the whole press conference, man, was just a TED Talk remix of absolutely nothing. Just a bunch of tough talk, but they ain't have any real plan on doing anything. They'll find out Seriously? Seriously? This guy's a joke, man. This guy's a joke, man. I mean, this dude out here using horoscope language in a political crisis. They'll find out. That's why they're in the situation that they're in right now. All talk, no action. And the people are fed up with it, man. And look at the Democrat poll numbers right now. They're in free fall. Leadership approval is circling the drain. People trust a Waffle House cook with foreign policy more than they trust these clowns. It's the truth, man. And y'all know I love me some Waffle House. And Waffle House cooks, for the most part, they can be, some fairly intelligent people. But the reality is when the pressure is on, Hakeem Jeffries transforms into the male version of Kamala, just with less charisma and more buffering. This ain't leadership, man. This is open mic night at the Word Salad Cafe. So yeah, they did find out. They did find out. The people found out that your whole game is just vibe and deflect. No plan, no punch, just press conferences and passive aggression. Timu Barack Obama strikes once again. Shout out to Mythology Noir with the $5 super chat, man. He says, morning wise, how can Dems call anyone a dictator? When was the last time they listened to the American people? They smell like foreign interests. I agree. They don't listen to the American people. As a matter of fact, anytime someone from their party starts to listen to the American people, the pundits and the people in their party basically tell them, hey, man, what are you doing? You can't listen to these people. You can't listen to these people. You can't allow these people to change your opinion on a subject. Look at what happened with, what's his name? Gavin Newsom out there in California. He's kind of turned and pivoted, on this trans issue, right? When it comes to sports, biological boys, biological males playing in women's sports and vice versa. He's kind of pivoted. And the reason why he's pivoted is because his constituents are telling him, like, hey, bruh, you got to pivot. Now, we also understand that he's also trying to run. He wants to become president. He wants to run. And that is you can't win with that particular issue. You can't. You can't win with that issue, man. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the video I put out yesterday, but there is literally a guy up in Minnesota who put on a clinic in the girls' softball, fast pitch softball state championships out there. Dude didn't put out a no-hitter. He had back-to-back no-hitters. Back-to-back no-hitters in the same day as a doubleheader for these girls to win the state championship. I mean, I don't think you guys understand how tough that is. Let me break this down for y'all. In Major League Baseball, and I know this is high school, but in Major League Baseball, there's only been 7 no-nos like that. 7. There hasn't only been 7, but the guy who actually has the record for the amount of no-hitters out there had 7, and that's Nolan Ryan. 7 in a career. This young dude had 2 of them in the same day. I don't know how much you guys know about baseball or softball, but to put on a clinic like that is just, it's a statistical anomaly. Seriously. It's something that wouldn't, it's so rare. I mean, to have a no-hitter is like, it's a career day. This dude had 2 of them in the same day. But hey, men and women are the same, boys and girls are the same. This dude's a 16-year-old at like 6 feet. And I know that to be feasible. My son at 16 was 6'3", 6'4", my oldest. I mean, this is crazy, man. They're on the wrong side of every issue out there. Every issue out there.
Jerry Nadler said that the administration is trying to intimidate Democrats.
I think the administration is clearly trying to intimidate Democrats in the same way that they're trying to intimidate the country. This whole shock and awe strategy, this flood the zone with outrageous behavior that they've tried to unleash on the American people during the first few months of the Trump administration is all designed to create the appearance of inevitability. But Donald Trump has learned an important lesson. The American people aren't interested in bending the knee to a wannabe king. It's the reason why Donald Trump actually is the most unpopular president at this point of a presidency in American history. The American people have rejected this approach. And we as congressional Democrats will continue to reject this approach.
Mr. Leader, you brought up polls, so let me tell you about a new one that just came out here at CNN this morning. It shows that only 19% of Americans say that your party can get things done. 36 say the same about Republicans. And just 16% say your party has strong leaders. It's pretty rough, and you are one of those leaders. How do you turn that around?
Yeah, we don't have the presidency right now, so that's always going to be challenging a few months after a presidential election. But we have to continue to make the case, one, that Democrats, of course, are the party that is determined to make life more affordable for everyday Americans, for hardworking American taxpayers, that we believe that we need to lower the high cost of living, which for decades has been going up while the size of the middle class has been going down. So understandably, there's real frustration amongst the American people. They should be frustrated.
But they're
Housing
frustrated
costs are
with
too
you
high.
as well,
Child
with
care
Democrats as well.
Of course, they're frustrated with the system. But what is interesting, Dana, I think you're aware of this, every single public poll that has come out since the Trump presidency has had congressional Democrats winning the generic ballot against congressional Republicans. And in fact, we know this is not simply speculative. In every single high-profile special election, Iowa in January, New York in February, Pennsylvania in March, the Wisconsin State Supreme Court race in April, and most recently in Omaha, the mayor's race in May, Democrats have won. So the American people are actually being very clear and decisive in saying who they trust more to govern.
Y'all ever notice that when they get Democrats on their show, how they never fact check these people in real time, how they never push back when they say some outlandish things, or, when they're just flat out lying? Y'all ever notice that? They never push back on these guys. Although I will give Dana some credit to even, throw the poll in his face slightly. But when he went down, that list, dude was lying. And there was no pushback. There were no fact checks there. And that's the problem, with mainstream media, is that they got credibility issues, because had that had been a Republican, congressman or congresswoman in there, that interview would have been a lot more contentious. There would have been a lot more pushback, when they got to talking. You guys know it. Y'all know it. But let's keep it a buck, man. Dude flat out lied his way through the second half of this interview, man. After being confronted with his party's abysmal polling numbers, let's fact check the nonsense real fast. First, this dude claimed that Trump is the most unpopular president in modern history. That right there is a lie. According to multiple polls out there, Joe Biden is now clocking the worst approval rating for a president, at this stage, right? It's not Trump, it's Biden, and it's eventually, as we find out more and more, about the previous administration, it's going to get worse and worse. And then this dude had nerve to say Democrats won every special election since Trump. Lie. That's false as well. Just ask Florida. Ask New York Districts 3. Come on, man. It's just another lie. Where is the pushback, from the producers, over at CNN? I mean, there have been multiple losses. And even in the wins that they were able to achieve, they had to spend absorbent amount of money, and the margins are shrinking. And when it comes to the midterm generic ballot, I mean, he's dead wrong once again. A number of polls show Republicans leading the way right now. That's despite nonstop media spin in favor of Democrats. That's despite. Imagine if these people who are supposed to be journalists were just right down the middle, non-biased, and just reported the news without any bias. Imagine if the coverage were even remotely close to being balanced. Dem approval wouldn't just be below water, it'd be buried 6 feet deep. That's the truth, man. And all Jeffries does, and all Democrats tend to do is lie. All they do is deflect. They spin. They have no solutions. See, Barack Obama, he doesn't offer solutions. You know, he just offers sound bites. You know, a word salad, you know, with a side of delusion. That's it. And look, this isn't leadership, man. This is gaslighting. Timu Barack Obama is less minority leader and more minor league speaker. And the American people are waking up to the fact. The American people are waking up to it. And they're sick and tired of it. They just are. Shout out to my guy, Playboy Billy, with the $2 super sticker. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Appreciate you, brother.
I'll defend the Democrats. They are for things. Illegal aliens. You're for boys and girls sports. I mean, you are for things. And that's why you have such struggles right now in your party, because you're not for anything that's on the right side of any of the 80-20 issues that are driving this cultural divide in America. I think Wes Moore's actually a pretty talented communicator. The other person who spoke in South Carolina, Tim Walz, is this special mixture of extreme buffoonery and a mean spirit, which is a toxic brew. He is not the future of the Democratic Party. Moore is interesting. Probably more interesting than some of the radicals you have out there, Crockett, AOC. I mean, those are the true leaders of your party right now. But it'd probably be better off replacing them with.
That's not true, and I'm not going to even let you.
That's not true. And here's the thing: what Democrats are for is for an exceptional America, an exceptional place. Correct. And I think one of the things that's very concerning to me about what's happening with Donald Trump right now is he's trying to make America very regular. He's trying to make America a place that operates like everybody else in the world, right? It's pay to play. It's not standing up for courts. We used to send people all over the world to help them figure out how to get their judiciary in place. Instead, you got Stephen Miller going after the tyranny of the justice. We used to go out the world and tell people how to make the country work and keep politicians from being bought and sold for. And the President of the United States is having dinners where basically foreign interests are just paying money and paying.
I think a part of the conundrum for Democrats is disintegration, this dislocation you've seen specifically.
I'm with Scott, man. I'm with Scott. I didn't think I heard anything that he said that was a lie. I'm with Scott 1,000% here, man. And shout out to Red Bucks with the $4 super sticker. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. But I'm with Scott, man. Democrats have managed to land themselves on the wrong side of every 80-20 issue in America. Every 80-20 issue in America, Democrats, they have found themselves on it. And it's finally starting to catch up to them. Finally. Seriously. Most of their leaders have either aligned themselves with the fringe ideology opposed to common sense. Most of their leaders have aligned themselves with fringe ideology opposed to common sense. And most Americans, man, we're about the common. We're most of us are just certain things. We just look at it like, hey, this is common sense, man. Yeah, we need closed borders, common sense. We don't need a bunch of illegal gang members out here setting up shop, slanging drugs, human trafficking. We don't want it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want it. Girls shouldn't be having to compete with boys who think they're girls. What you don't see is girls who think they're boys competing with boys or men. Even when that whole Leah Thomas situation was going on a few years back, that really kind of kicked this thing off, and it's a lot of the reason why. There's a bunch of reasons why I don't watch ESPN like that, except for live sports. But that issue there, if you guys recall, they never even discussed that particular situation that was going on, with Leah Thomas, and the swimmers and things of that nature. There was no conversation. But there was a young lady who identified as a man, that was competing in those NCAAs. But she decided to compete or continue to compete with the women because she knew there was no chance that she was going to even make the team as a man. You don't see this on the other side. I can't think of it. If I'm wrong, somebody send me a video, but I haven't seen a girl, young lady, a woman who quote unquote identifies as a man or a boy go into boy sports, men's sports, and I'm not even saying dominate, just compete, just make a team. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Somebody in the chat had mentioned, like, hey, why do we even have girls sports if this is going to be the case? And that was one of the things that I mentioned yesterday. It was like, hey, man, just tear it all down. Get rid of girls sports, boys sports, men's sports, women's sports. Get rid of it all. And just say, hey, man, it's just sports. And there is no equity. We're not going to make sure that we, check a couple boxes off and say we got to have 3 women, we got to have 3 girls on the basketball team. No. Best players make the team. Best players going to play. Simple as that. They don't want to do that, though. They don't want to do that. We're going to get rid of the LPGA. It's just the PGA. We're going to get rid of the WNBA. It's just the NBA. We're going to get rid of the Women's Federation of Football Alliance or whatever that is. There's a women's football league out there. It's not that big, but we'll get rid of that. It's just the NFL. It's just, whatever semi-pro football is out there. Get rid of it all. It's just sports. And you won't have any of these issues. I mean, hey, they are literally on the wrong side of every 80-20 rule out there. These people are out here backing illegal immigrants over struggling Americans. They're cheering on boys and girls sports. I mean, and their economic plan is basically to tax you into the Stone Age to fund bloated bureaucracy and pet projects. That's why the party's flailing, and they're flailing hard. LJ Taylor said, I let the Jersey accent slip out. I'm not going to say I haven't been to Jersey. I was going to say I had never been to Jersey, but I have a couple times. But maybe that just on accident came out. I definitely don't have a Jersey accent. I don't think so anyway. But I don't know if we need more proof about how out of touch, with these people. Now, one crazy thing, somebody said, hey, man, we can get rid of all these sports, but don't get rid of the lingerie football league. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. The dude says, we can get rid of everything. Just don't get rid of the LFL. Shout out to Christy with the $2 super sticker. She says, was that boxer from the Olympics a man? I'm seeing some reports to say that he is. But I think they are still testing. But what we do know is that the young lady that had to fight him, that first one, dude threw a jab out there and she folded. Now, if most of you guys don't know, jabs aren't supposed to be the toughest. That ain't your strongest punch. You know what I'm saying? Your jab is typically a setup. But that jab did her in. And she pretty much was done. Her corner tried to get her to go again. She took another one and was like, all right, that's it. No mas. No mas. No mas. She don't want any more of that. And the fact that you have people out here floating Wes Moore's name out there. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with Wes Moore is the current governor of Maryland. He is the first Black governor of Maryland. And his name's being floated out there as the quote unquote future of the party. But for those of you guys that don't know, this is the same Wes Moore who's busy, very busy, mismanaging Maryland into a budget crisis and a public safety disaster. Seriously, dude got in, we had a surplus. We're at a $6 billion deficit right now. We have we have one Fortune 500 company in the entire state, and they're threatening to leave because of the foolery. We have another big company in McCormick. They're threatening to leave because they're raising the corporate taxes. They literally raise tax on everybody in the country. Well, I'll take that back. Not everybody. If you make over $100,000 a year in the state of Maryland, your taxes has gone up. They've raised taxes on everything. Sales tax went up. Alcohol tax went up. We have dispensaries out here. Dispensaries tax went up. Casino taxes have gone up. All the tolls, we have tons of tolls because we got bridges and tunnels and all these other throughways and stuff. Those have gone up. They literally raised taxes on everything. All your fines, registration on your cars, all of that. It's all going up. Everything is going up. Now, if you make less than $100,000, they say that they cut taxes. But the reality of it is they're going to get that money out of you because even if they cut tax on you, they raise the price on everything else. I mean, this isn't leadership, man. This is what you call delusion. And the Democrats, they have major structural problems. They'd rather double down on dysfunction than admit to the American people who are currently tuning them out. They don't have any interest in doing what's right for the American people as a whole. They don't even hear. And Mike, see, you're absolutely right because Maryland, is a sanctuary state and Baltimore is a sanctuary city. I believe DC, the nation's capital, is a sanctuary city. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make it up, man. The nation's capital is a sanctuary city. It's crazy. Property tax went up. Dude, it's crazy. Everything is going up, man. You have people that want to leave. They've basically modeled California to an extent. And word on the street is they're trying to charge you. Like if you try to sell your house and move out the state, they want to tax you. They want to tax you for that, like an exit tax just to leave. I mean, it's insanity. It's crazy what we have going on, man. It really is. It is crazy. That's what's going on in my state, though. Unfortunately. But I want to talk about this FBI, I'm not FBI, but this targeted attack out there in Boulder, Colorado. FBI probes. I want to play this clip here. We're not going to play the whole 6 minutes, but I want to play a little bit of it. And then there's another clip that I want to share. We'll keep things going.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Dion said, my name is Stephen Redfern. I serve as the police chief here in Boulder, Colorado. Today I'm here to give you very preliminary information about an attack that occurred here in downtown Boulder at about 1:26 p.m. today. At that time, Boulder Dispatch received several calls to the county courthouse located at 1325 Pearl Street here in Boulder. The initial callers indicated that there was a man with a weapon and that people were being set on fire. The initial response by our officers, we were on scene very quickly. When we arrived, we encountered multiple victims that were injured with injuries consistent with burns and other injuries. While our officers and paramedics and fire department personnel got those victims quickly to the hospital, our officers were pointed out, a suspect was pointed out to our officers on the scene. Our officers immediately encountered that suspect who was taken into custody without incident. That suspect, who I'm not able to ID at this time, was taken to the hospital with some minor injuries as well. And there's a lot more we're investigating right now before I'm able to release information on that person. The scene itself is contained, but we have a large area here in downtown Boulder closed off right now. Businesses have been closed, and we have asked people to avoid the area. This area is not safe yet. We're dealing with a vehicle of interest. We're dealing with a large area that we are making sure it's safe before we allow people to come back into the scene. If your vehicle is here in
the fact that they would not identify this as a terrorist attack, I have a pretty big problem, with this, man. But I want to share this as a clip, man. The first clip is a little on the lower side of things.
We're early in the investigation, but some details have emerged. I'm able to confirm there are 6 victims, ages 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals. This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell "Free Palestine" during the attack. The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene and the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder Police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism. Sadly, attacks like this are becoming too common across the country. This is an example of how perpetrators of violence continue to threaten communities across our nation. It's our job, the FBI, the Boulder Police, and our law enforcement and community partners, to bring these criminals to justice and keep our communities safe. We're asking for the public's help as we continue to investigate this horrific act of violence. I'll direct anyone that has phone calls, that wants to make phone calls, to 1-800-CALL-FBI. And if you have...
Yeah, man, this is a very sad situation. So they are now classifying this as a terrorist attack, but initially, I believe the first person we showed, he's a person out of Colorado. I don't think he represents the FBI. I believe he's like the sheriff of Boulder or something along those lines. And Dario, I'm interested as well to see what mainstream media calls this and how they cover this. I don't think they will cover this properly. I don't think so. I don't think they'll do it. But unfortunately, and I agree with Wall Street Base here. He says, important people in our country whose religion tells them to, kill us is next level stupid. Yeah. This was overrun. This type of rhetoric has overrun college campuses across the country. This type of rhetoric, this type of behavior, and now it's spilling out into regular people. And, this is unfortunate. I don't know. I'd be very interested to see how CNN covers this, how MSDNC covers this, and a lot of the other folks, on that side of media. I'd be interested, to hear how they cover it. I'm sure they won't cover this in the way it needs to be covered, but we literally have people here in America, yelling, free Palestine, and doing, and committing some of the most heinous acts out there. A similar situation happened, out here in the DC, when those two, young people were killed out here in DC, and they said that individual said the same thing, free Palestine, on his way to commit the act that, or in the midst of him committing the act that he did. This is crazy. This is crazy. And this right here, it started on a lot of these college campuses, and now it's overflowing into society right now. A lot of you guys may not know this, but Boulder is quote unquote supposed to be a gun-free city. I don't know how that works, in the United States of America, but it's supposed to be a gun-free city. And unfortunately, when people know that places are quote unquote gun-free, they also understand that they're not going to receive or get any resistance. I couldn't see a person doing something like this in Texas somewhere, with a makeshift flamethrower. The citizens, a citizen would have probably taken them out. A citizen would have taken them out. Yeah, Christy, I know Chicago is supposed to be a gun-free city. We know it's everything but a gun-free city. We know this. We know this. We know that. We know this. And a lot of schools, across the country are supposed to be, weapons-free or gun-free zones. But yet, these are the places when these types of heinous acts, because they know they're not going to get any real pushback. They know this. What are the chances of this guy being a liberal of some sort? What's the chances? What's the likelihood of that? I'd say it's probably pretty high, unfortunately. And I'm sure there's some of you guys sending your kids to these college campuses. They're supposed to go there to get an education, to get a degree, and they're out here, on these college campuses, at these rallies, these pro-Hamas rallies, screaming free Palestine and all this other kind of stuff. It's crazy. This is an unfortunate situation. Unfortunate situation. And it's just what's really baffling is that all the places around the country that are supposed to be quote unquote either gun free, weapon free, or supposed to be extremely strict when it comes to gun ownership for legal, for people who want to practice their Second Amendment right. These are some of the most dangerous places in the country. Seriously. And Buddha, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I want to bring this up. Hold up. Gun-free zones are nothing more than target-rich environments to these liberal nutcases. It's sad but true. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. You get no argument from me, on that. None. You get no argument from me on that. Shout out to Diane. Says we got 327 people, in the building. We only have 250 likes. Please make sure you hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. It don't take you much, quick millisecond. You can hit that like button for me. Please hit that like button and help us boost the channel and boost the show, throughout the algorithm. But thank you, Buddha, for that, man. It's awesome. Awesome. This is sad, man. It really is. It's sad. I want to share this with you guys, and this is one of the last topics we're going to discuss. But I wanted to show you guys this real fast.
I'm sorry. What's the point of fucking health insurance if you have to
Sorry
pay
about the
full
language.
price until you meet a deductible? My deductible is $6,000. I have to spend $6,000 in medical expenses before everything is taken care of and there's no copays. But yet I pay for that insurance. I pay $350 a month for that insurance. Huh? What? I'm sorry. Make that make sense. That makes absolutely no sense in my head. I have to pay full price for all medical expenses, which every year I'm not going to spend $6,000. Huh?
Hey, I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. When did Obamacare get implemented? And TA, you're absolutely right, man. You took the words right out. I said you could thank Obama for that. Yeah, you absolutely can. I was paying $1,000 a month for health insurance, $12,000 a year for health insurance with deductible at the time. I think it was maybe $3,000, $4,000 or something along those lines. So you basically have no health insurance essentially until you hit the deductible. And this is at a time when my oldest son was in high school. So at this point now, this was some years ago. And I had just kind of gotten to a position to where I really, started doing well. And then this Obamacare thing comes, and I'm like, man, I finally start making a little bit of money. And here they come. They start taking from me. They start taking. I'm like, they raise the insurance and they raise deductibles. And we hit the deductible every year for 4 years straight. 4 years straight. 4 years, my oldest son was in high school. We hit the deductible every year for 4 years straight because the dude played football. He wrestled. He was breaking stuff. He broke his hand. He dislocated a pinky. There was one time I come pick him up. This part of his pinky is facing this way like an L. It was crazy. It was nasty. We had to take him to the daggone emergency room for that to get that repaired. There's a ton of things. And I'm just like, golly, man. It's like, man, I finally start making a little bit of cheese and I'm just making it to give it away. This is terrible. This is terrible. And that Obamacare situation, I mean, and I agree with Crystal here. She says she hates Obamacare. It causes more harm. It's causing more harm than help. Doesn't Obama receive some kind of residuals? Yeah. I think they just stopped that, but yeah, word on the street is that he was, getting a piece of a piece of everything for a minute. It's crazy. I just thought this was interesting because people are starting to wake up. Now I would assume that this person right here just making an assumption just based off of nothing. She probably voted for this. She probably voted for it to be that way.
So I'm at Kroger. I'm picking up a prescription. I got insurance. Last time I was here, I didn't have insurance, and they gave me this discount card, and it was $25. So I'm like, heck, I got insurance. Let's see what the deal is this time. Maybe it'll be better. And they run it, and they tell me with insurance, which is a really expensive insurance plan, it's $105. So I said, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and put that discount card back in? Thank goodness for insurance. So I'm at Kroger. I'm picking up a prescription. I got insurance. Last time I was here, I didn't have insurance, and they gave me this discount card, and it was $25. So I'm like, heck, I got insurance. Let's see what the deal is this time. Maybe it'll be better. And they run it, and they tell me with insurance, which is a really expensive insurance plan, it's $105. So I said, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and put that discount card back in? Thank goodness for insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times, man, I was it's crazy that you get a better deal, you know, without insurance than with insurance, which is just crazy. That's crazy. Goodness gracious. But, you know, this is what people are dealing with, you know, here in the United States of America, unfortunately, man. This is what folks are dealing with, man. Unfortunately. I'm all for helping those that are in need. I am. I'm all for it. You know, if you're disabled, our disabled veterans, you know, our senior citizens, I'm all for helping them. Even those that would find themselves in a position to where maybe they couldn't afford all the way. I don't have a problem with, you know, us maybe subsidizing or something along those lines. I don't have a problem with that. I get it. I think, you know, people having health care, I think that's something that should be done. Outstanding, man. We got 400 likes today. That is awesome. That is awesome. But our healthcare system, the insurance, it's a racket. I mean, it's broken, man. Something needs to be done about it. I know President Trump had mentioned a while back, you know, repealing Obamacare and replacing it, but I don't even know if that's possible. I don't know if it's possible. I really don't. But something's got to shake. Something needs to be done about it because it's outrageous, man. It really is. It really is. But I do want to let you guys know that June is Men's Health Month. And I wanted to share this with you guys that I want to send love, you know, to the men out there. A lot of times, man, we don't get the love. You know, we're supposed to, you know, we are the backbone, you know, of society. We are the tough guys. We are, you know, the tough beings out there. We are the ones that's supposed to make it happen no matter, you know, how we feel. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, in this country, let me tell you how much they don't care about men in the United States of America is that June is Men's Mental Health Month or Men's Health Month. And men's got to share this month with the Pride folks, with the alphabet community. Go figure. We can't even get our own month. You know, Father's Day, you know, fathers are pushed to the backbone. I'm not saying that mothers aren't important, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't celebrate mothers, but you know, typically, you know, dad, hey, dad gets pushed to the back burner. Men get pushed to the back burner. You know, our young boys are being pushed, you know, to the back burner. Mike C said, let me cut my grass for Men's Mental Health Month or Men's Health Month. Oh. Hey, Prime, my entire family's birthday is this month. Both my kids and my wife, all three birthdays are in the month of June. It's crazy. Crazy. All within the same week at that. It's crazy. But men, when you need to do something for yourself, man, So I want to show some love, and as this thing right here says, this little meme here, it says, I want to show some love to men who are struggling mentally, to men who, suffer with thoughts of harming themselves. We can't say that word. To men who are scared to speak up, to the men who are in therapy, to the men out there who are feeling alone, to the men who are feeling dismissed by society. I want to let you guys know you are not alone, in this, man. I think having hobbies, it's if you feel like you need therapy or something along those lines, man, hey, jump out there, go make it happen, go do it. Men are needed in this country. We are the backbone of society. We make this thing move. We make this thing go. We do have a mental health crisis, in this country. And unfortunately, we have a lot of young men, out there who, don't feel valued. They don't feel wanted. They don't feel needed in this country. They're constantly being talked down to. And it's unfortunate. Those are things that we need to change. If you have sons, you speak life into them, men and women, on this channel. If you have sons, you have nephews, speak life into them. They need it because they're definitely, you don't know what they're dealing with at school. You don't know what they're dealing with at school. You're sending these kids to these college campuses, you don't know what they're dealing with, in these places. So I just wanted to bring that to some attention. I don't know if you guys knew that June is Men's Health Month, but I wanted to bring that, to the attention, of you guys, man. And with that, we're going to wrap the show. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. As always, I appreciate you guys, man. Shout out to the Blues, keeping things civil in the chat, man. I really, really appreciate you guys doing what you do. T.A. Caskey, man, be safe out there, man. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. Shout out to Zephyr K9 and B, Coaster, Brett Montgomery. Shout out to you all for keeping things peaceful in the chat. Shout out to all the ARP family members. Thank you very much for pulling up as always. Thank you to everybody that supported the channel financially today. If you received a ARP family membership, please make sure you show some love to whoever it was and make sure you thank them to whoever it was that gifted that to you. I believe it was Christy today. So y'all make sure y'all show Christy some love if you received one of those gifts. But I do appreciate you guys. We'll be back at this thing tomorrow morning. Thank you guys for getting the likes up. I don't know. I think we're well over 300 likes today, so that's phenomenal. And thank you guys so much, man, for supporting the channel and supporting what we do over here. And I want to hear from you guys before we get out of here, in the chat, the people that do watch the show. Yes, we discuss politics and things of that nature, on this channel. Brett Montgomery says 293 viewers, 412 likes. That is freaking phenomenal. That is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you guys, man. That is awesome. 413 likes. Oh, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. But I want to continue to broaden our horizons, on the channel. The show is called A Righteous Perspective, right? So we want to discuss not just topics that's going on politically, but we want to get into some of the social topics and things of that nature as well. If there's anything that you guys would like for me to cover, that you would like for me to discuss, on the channel, there is an email in the description box. Send those links over to me. Some people send over like somebody else's content, but if you actually find a clip on X or a clip on TikTok or something like that that you would like discuss, email that over to me. I'll either do it, in the live stream, or it'll be something that, be done in the standalone. And that really I really don't care what the topic is. I mean, it could be political, but it could just be, something that you found that's trending, on TikTok or on X. Send that over to me if it's something that you think needs to be discussed. Because I think politics and what's going on in the news, I think it's important, but there's some social issues and social topics that need to be discussed as well. And the show, in the channel is called A Righteous Perspective. So it's not just politics, but we're going to get into some other things. We're going to continue to broaden our horizons as well. But check out the description box below for that email. Send things over to me, man. Shout out to Israel Pena that he just got on. Good morning from San Antonio. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you, man. But I appreciate you guys pulling up. As always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We will catch up with you all tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. Y'all take care. Peace.
Vibes the